Welcome, everyone, to Awesome Truth, a wrestling book club. I'm your host, Steve Semino, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Walt Schwenk. Hey, Walters.
Oh, Steven. How's it going?
My friend, it is going very well. We are back on Awesome Truth, and today, Walt, we are talking about a match. We're doing a watch-along, a match that is very relevant to this time and place. Of course, I'm talking about a match I think we like, but probably not in retrospect, maybe just in the moment. But it was SummerSlam 2014. It was John Cena. It was Brock Lesnar. And I think it was the first and maybe only squash of John Cena's career, right? Not to give
Uh,
away the ghosts too early, but it is what
well,
happens in this very famous match.
11-year-old match, 11-year-old 1 month old match. Spoilers. Yeah. This is also kind of at a time where Brock had like a string of just like going against the standard wrestling match scripts kind of vibe. So between this and then Orton getting just knocked out,
Oh,
KO,
that's right.
so
Did they
this was like the
ever? Was that
beginning of
real,
that.
or was that? Do I assume that was part of the script, right?
Pretty sure it was a work.
It was, yeah. I mean, everything's a work unless it's not, right? So, I mean, everything you see on screen is almost certainly a work. So,
Well, I think in that case, Jericho at one point thought it was a shoot and like challenged Lesnar
yes,
to a fight. I don't know if anyone came to Cena's aid that way during SummerSlam 2014.
yeah. Brock, how dare you? You hurt John.
Yeah,
His
right.
neck.
Randy can't hurt Randy.
But yeah, you're right. This is a famous run for Lesnar. This really establishes, the older man Lesnar that we know as just the true, post UFC beast who is big and scary and beats the shit out of people. And it started here in this match that if I recall correctly, and we can start it real quick and then talk during it. But though there's not a lot to watch, so we might have a lot of
Yeah.
talking during it. But yeah, they hyped it as like two big guys. Oh my god, they're gonna fight. And then obviously what we got is very different. And so it was a very effective swerve at the time because I think as strong as Brock had looked at that moment, I don't think anyone expected him to do this.
Yeah, this was a surprising booking, but I think it was cool.
Yeah.
So when we
Well,
relive it, well, we'll see if it still stands the test of time.
yeah, and here we go. We're gonna watch along. Obviously, this match is on YouTube, as you noted, Walt. I'm sure it's on
Mhm.
Peacock as well. If there's WWE content is still on Peacock at this point, unclear. I think the archives will remain there. Who knows where they'll end up when you're listening to this? But like we said, Cena Lesnar SummerSlam 2014 is certainly available on the internet. So pop open a window and watch along. Are you ready, Walt?
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna start pretty much right at the bell ringing. So 3, 2, 1, wrestling. Okay, right before Charles Robinson is doing the "You ready? You ready?" So the bell did not ring yet. There's the bell.
All right.
Here we go. I mean, Cena looking, I know I've been mean to Cena on this show before, but obviously he does look like $1 million here. And in
Mhm.
2015, he looks like a much older man. So that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. Uh, I will say John Cena with the cargo shorts, for some reason, I like more than the jorts. Is
Yeah, I
that
think I
weird to
do too,
say?
actually. I don't know why, but it's a good
Uh,
look.
and
But,
first F5.
yep. I don't. I'm curious where this fits, and I did not do enough research to say definitively into like the sort of spamming finishers style
Mm.
main event. Like your Goldbergs, your Lesnar is frequently involved in those type of matches, but where it's just like finishes not or finishers nonstop. Like as opposed to a match that builds two finishers, a match that is almost entirely made up of finishers.
Yeah, I don't know if Lesnar was the first to really make that a big part of his repertoire, or because I'm sure there were other matches around this time that started to kind of play with that format. But like Lesnar was come to mind when it's like, oh yeah, let's start the match with an F5. Like, okay, that's
Yeah. And like with Brock, it was usually I would say for like shock value maybe or for like enthusiasm value and like also just I think to mirror UFC, which in which
mhm.
matches can end quickly. I think it was certainly to give that sort of vibe. With Goldberg, obviously it was like this man cannot have a wrestling match. So
Yeah.
we need to do spears and jackhammers for 5 minutes because we don't have any other moves in our repertoire at this point.
But also the matches were done so quickly that like if you didn't get to your spear, then like you wouldn't see a spear.
Yes. Given the self-imposed time limit, it was spear in the first 2 minutes, or yeah, no spear whatsoever.
There's no like body slams or like transitional moves.
I will say I do not. This match is longer than I remember. At least that this clip we're watching is 16 minutes long. I do not recall this match being that long. So that's interesting. Like I sort of in my head, like as a squash, I think I sort of thought of it as like a over in 5 minutes. But obviously instead it's more of like a sustained beating,
Mhm.
which is interesting. You know.
Yeah, this almost feels boring because it's like move, wait a minute, another big move, wait a minute.
Yeah. And it is a good, I know before this in like the early 2010s and the late 2000s, there was obviously the intense boredom over a lot of the Cena matches where he would just always win. But I will say, like, this is the kind. I think this does spark an era for Cena where he will lose sometimes and will start doing interesting things. Like I feel like this is the U.S. title run, obviously with the open challenges and stuff like this. To me, and then the Punk stuff is around this time too, or the Punk stuff is a few years before this. So I guess that was probably the real start of that era. But like it was this is a different John Cena than I think people had been used to 5 years previous, 3 years previous, even in a lot of ways.
Yeah, this is an interesting time for Cena because he had the Bryan match and the Punk match a couple of years before. Um,
And we go into obviously the AJ matches, which are very good,
Kevin
fair sort of
Owens
affairs.
matches.
Yeah, Owens. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
Rollins eventually.
Yeah, he starts coming into a lot of opponents where he will, it's a lot of even-handed both sides affairs that are way more interesting than I think he'd been mocked for and ridiculed for previously.
This is also the way they should have booked the first match of Lesnar coming back a few years prior to this when he came back the day after Mania, and then they had that. I think which we might have covered
I
in
think we
this
did
podcast.
cover that, which is I forget. I think because of like a month thing, right? Like it was the best June match or whatever, something like. No, I guess it was April, right? It was for it was for like
Whatever,
it was for
maybe
Ass Slash or
May
whatever, right? May, it was something like that.
or Extreme Rules. I think
Yeah, it
was
was Extreme Rules, but it was Extreme Rules that came after Mania, right?
correct. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Now it's Ass
They
Slash
forgot to call it Ass
or
Slash.
Back
Yeah.
Ass.
Yeah,
Ass
back
Slash.
ass. I
But
like
it's
Ass
over.
Slash more.
Yeah.
Ass Slash does back ass makes maybe a little more sense. I don't know.
So it's
It
all
is it is
nonsense.
ass though. We do agree that backlash is almost always ass. So,
Yeah, it's just a let's just redo the best of Mania only with very, very slightly different results.
but yeah, remind me, did who wins that Cena Lesnar match in from that whenever the hell that
That
was?
was definitely a clean Cena win.
Wow. Okay. So Lesnar comes back, like truly shocks everybody, as I remember. No one saw it coming, and the Cena just beats him clean.
Yeah,
That's wild. What a bad decision that is. Why would they do
right.
that?
So this almost kind of like cleansed the palate of that poor booking where it's like, yeah, of course we're gonna just have Lesnar just stomp the shit out of him. We
Yeah, and
might
they it makes Brock into like a monster too. Like it's so how many years after Mania 30 is this too? Mania 30 was
after
2012. Is that right?
mm,
Or am I
should
wrong on
have
the
been
math?
2020, 2014, right?
Was it the same year?
That doesn't sound right though.
I'm very bad at that stuff. I know your encyclopedic memory fails
Uh,
you at that
oh,
point too a little bit. So
wait.
yeah, I
Was
you're in charge of
was that
research.
that wasn't after WrestleMania 30 though. That was after WrestleMania 28.
No, but I was thinking about I was just talking about Brock being a monster. So post Taker win,
Oh, that was earlier this year. Yes, that
So
was
so it is so it truly is the year of Brock then. He
2014.
beat Taker and he destroys Cena in the same calendar year.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay,
See, and
that's
that's
what
like
you're saying.
that was more my point. Is like what an effective way to make Brock like the ultimate big bad for years to come.
Yeah, and then they just kept doing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say they never really they never quite did besides unless you I guess their plan was and then Roman Reigns conquers him, which they did several times. But for fans, that's not what I think people wanted to see. They wanted to see like a plucky baby face that they really enjoyed to be the one to sort of take Brock down. Not another big giant hunk. Like I think that was like we don't. This isn't as exciting. Like
Jesus.
when it's two giant guys, like you don't like Roman's not coming from behind against Brock. They're pretty evenly matched. So
You know what's funny is like this match made Cena like this. Also, it's just so weird seeing someone Cena's size get thrown around like this.
yeah,
Like
Brock is
that
just
novelty
destroying him
is
too.
the novelty is like pretty great in
Brock
this.
is also doing a thing that people other than us have said this, but like it's so good. Like he plays, he doesn't show up and like dick around during the match. Like sometimes he plays maniacal, sometimes he plays funny, sometimes he plays like, and this time he's playing like dead serious. Really, like he is stalking him and looking at him in a way and milking the time, like you said, and pausing, and he's just doing like he does that kind of stuff so well. Like he just does not. For all the talk, obviously Brock is probably not the best human being to say the least, and all that stuff. Like he's so good at the little things in the ring that he does not have to be good at because he's so big and strong. He could get away with being bad at that stuff or not giving a shit, but he really does give a shit all the time.
It's crazy that he became a better professional wrestler after his MMA run
Yeah,
versus when he was like doing this shit every
because
day.
before that he was just kind of like a big guy, right? And like he was strong and but then he like really figured out how to to make every little thing, every movement, and every pause and all that to make that all count so much.
Yeah. Now, one of the reasons obviously we're doing this is because of WrestlePalooza.
Oh, WrestlingPalooza, yeah, of course, which is this Saturday.
Of WrestlingPalooza. Oh
Super
my
Brawl
God.
Saturday. I'm just calling it that. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
WrestlingPalooza. I just like calling it. I just like that's my ass slash version of
No,
WrestlePalooza.
I'm all for it. I'm here
Yeah.
for it. So how do we see this one playing out with Cena's last year and Brock is, I
I
guess,
don't know,
back?
man. I mean, I'm like darkly like there's like a black comedy. Like I'm intrigued in a sour sense, or I'm like I don't think it's gonna be good, but I guess I do want to see what they do with it because obviously they've just done the lazy ass Cena face turn back now too. So it's just gonna be normal old John Cena versus mean old Brock Lesnar. Like there doesn't seem like there's a ton of ambiguity or interesting elements to that, but
We're
I
just gonna
guess.
continue having Cena lose on his way out. Like,
I sort of guess so. Like, and I guess if Brock is back, semi full time again, it probably makes sense for Brock to win. But like, why? I don't know. Like, I don't really get what anybody sort of stands to gain from it. It sort of seems like it's just being booked, as a lot of people have speculated, because AEW is having a show and they just want to quote unquote defeat AEW. So they're like, well, let's do this at WrestlePalooza. That'll but I don't think that's how it works. Honestly, I think AEW's fans are going to watch the AEW show and WWE fans are going to watch the WWE show, and like there is some crossover, but I don't think anyone's going to be ruined over this. But I guess we'll have to see.
so WrestlingPalooza is just counter programming.
That's what everyone keeps saying. Yeah, like it exists. Okay, so WrestlePalooza is next Saturday too, when as you're hearing this episode. So
Okay.
we are slightly ahead of the curve. But yes, I was just curious when it was happening and when the AEW show was. But most people have said it does seem like it exists to be counter programming.
Great.
But because it didn't exist as of a month ago too, they just sort of made it up.
So is it like a glorified house show? Is it a PLE?
It's a PLE, but like I think it's one of those things where like they can just make up PLEs. Obviously, now they don't need to
Sure.
abide by the previous rules.
But is this a ESPN one?
This I believe yes is an ESPN one.
So this is the first ESPN one.
Yes. Great question.
Also, we just missed Cena kind of get a quick comeback, but then he hit an AA, and of course,
You are
Brock kicked
correct.
out.
This is on ESPN's direct-to-consumer streaming service, which I do not have and will not be getting. So I will not be watching Wrestling Palooza.
Yeah, I hope Daily Motion gets it.
Yeah, I look forward to finding potentially some sort of stream on some sort of website at some point.
Yeah, maybe YouTube. Who knows?
Oh, that's where the tongue meme comes from.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if I knew that.
I always assumed it was against Undertaker.
I did too. Wow. I think maybe it could have been too, but he certainly looked like it was right there. What do you think they're going to do if you had to say? Because I will admit I'm not really keeping up on the product at all these days, so I almost have no idea what's going on. I know AJ Lee came back. We texted about AJ Lee coming back, which was exciting. So I do know that happened. But
yeah,
love hearing that theme again. That's such a great theme.
Was that on the top 10 themes list?
It was my I think number 5 of my side. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It is a banger for sure.
It's really good. It might have been a little too high, but I think part of my logic was I want to hear this again someday, you know?
Yeah.
And then a boyhood dream comes true. So
Yeah. Yeah. But is that a Wrestling Palooza or is that saved for?
yes, that's a Wrestling Palooza too.
Wow. Not a terrible card, I guess. But
No, I mean it's not a bad card. There's Io versus Stephanie Vacher too. Is that how you say a Vacher?
Vaquer.
Stephanie, probably Vacher. Yeah, Stephanie Vacher. There's Cena Lesnar. There's the Usos are back together. Which I mean, what a. Can you imagine the Usos teaming up?
This truly is 2014. We have the Usos back together. AJ Lee's in the
AJ's
building.
back. See, that's right.
Yeah.
It's really a very like short term nostalgia play. That's right.
Time is just a circle.
Hey, did you love 2014? It's like wrestling. It's like, yeah, I guess it's fine. You know.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't my favorite, but I guess let's just do it again.
So yeah,
Everybody's back.
what do you think they're gonna do? Do you think it's gonna be? I mean, the obvious play is to call this back to some extent, right? This is certainly Cena and Lesnar's most famous showdown. So
But then you have the squash, and then you're gonna waste another one of John's last matches on on this getting his comeuppance. I mean,
are you just playing? I mean, are you playing? Are you doing like what story do they have left besides like maybe like a Cena's got nothing in the tank story, and then he gets to his last match and he wins it, and everyone gets to cheer? Because I don't think he's gonna go out on his back in that sense. I think he definitely wins his last match. I think it's gonna be maybe in Boston too, or at least he has a match in Boston coming up. I basically wherever it is, I don't think Cena might be a guy. I don't think he necessarily loses that last match. I think it might be like a little redemption story win at the end.
against Brock, though, what does
No, I think
that
it's Brock.
do?
No, I think he might get squashed again.
But what does that do? But then
It
why?
just makes him look creaky, and everyone's like, he can't go anymore.
Unless you have some weird interference, but like, then who do you have interfere?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's left. Like, hasn't he fought everybody? Kind of AJ, maybe. Like, who else is on the
We're gonna run
list?
that back.
I mean, I'm trying to think. What do you do with him for the next 2 months, though? I guess
I don't
because that's the
know.
second part of the question, right? Is not only what do you do on September 20th, but what do you do in October and November? Because I think he's staying until then, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these are all good questions. I don't know what you do with like I'm not saying you don't book the match because like obviously you're like it's the cornerstone of wrestling palooza.
Yes.
But you don't you I just don't know what 50-50 buys you. I don't know what a Cena win really does. If he's leaving, I don't know what a Cena squash does. If there's no like follow up, unless the follow to your point, the follow up is like, oh well, he's gonna get his win back just in the general scheme of wrestling. Like
Yes.
end on a high note to wash this terrible taste out of his mouth. But then I guess that builds Brock.
I guess. And like I said, Brock is the one who's going to be around after this. So like it sort of doesn't really make sense to have Cena beat him.
So
But I don't know. It's a weird. They've botched this so hard. And like I don't know if you and I have talked about this. Probably not on the show yet, but it's annoying that WWE is the kind of company right now because of where they are in the marketplace and everything. They can totally botch this Cena angle to the fullest extent possible, and then go whoopsie doopsies, just kidding, and then fully get away with it, and there's no repercussions whatsoever. You know, like to their business creatively, no one gets fired, no one gets like it's just doesn't really matter. We're everything's totally good, and we're back to doing some other shit. That was just it. Yeah, that was less of a squash than I mean. John got a little offense in there. I honestly didn't think he even got that. So
yeah, there's a few hope spots, but
yeah.
otherwise, it was pretty much paint by numbers. Brock beats the fuck out of him.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's annoying to me that they're getting like this is just going to be like it sucks for Cena that he has to go out so shittily. But it's just wild to me that there's just like they couldn't have ruined this more. And it's like well whatever, who cares, you know?
I mean, the same thing happened with before the final boss is we're
I know,
about to
that's
run
true.
Roman Rock, and then it's like, oh, let's just forget that.
Yeah,
So as long as they just like, I'm okay with them just kidding, that was a bad idea. Let's just write the course.
Yeah, I mean they do. That is as long as they stick to landing, that's all anyone will ever care about or talk about, you know. So, but like we just said, I don't know what even like the dismount looks like as we come towards the landing. You know, like I don't know what the build up to the dismount looks like. Like
Yeah.
they have several months left, and I really don't know who's left. What's going to happen, why it's going to matter, why anyone should care. Like, besides the fact that it's
Yeah.
happening and it's wrestling and you should watch it because that's just what people do, you know?
Yeah. Now the real question is, will we watch Cena's last match as a watch along on here, or will they have botched it so badly
I
that
mean,
we're
because of our
over?
insatiable need for content, we're gonna have to watch it, right? Like you and I are gonna we are forced to do so, but will we do it joyously? I think probably not.
Yeah, this whole year we're theming it the Cena watch along year.
That's right. We're going out with you, John, and we are, we're along for the ride and we're not enjoying it. We're not having a good
Uh,
time, but we are here and it's less lucrative for us, but I guess we'll go down with the ship. So
Cannot stress how not lucrative this is for us.
what do you think of that match, though? I think it was pretty good. It's it's certainly it's not the shit with the shot gone. It's just kind of a match, but I think it's good execution of a surprise and a bit of a swerve.
It was a perfect match to talk over because there was so much dead space in between each move that you felt like you could watch this watch along and not really miss much.
Yep,
So
it was a classic watch along match. Just perfect time, 16 minutes. Let us ramble about current
yeah,
events.
a lot of speculation.
Well, I guess we'll see at WrestlingPalooza. We'll see what they do there. We'll see if Cena, like you said, it is a good card. If it was on Peacock, I would watch it, but it's not on Peacock. And I think they're off Peacock now permanently, right? I think this is the end of Peacock. So
I kind of lost track of that. I'm going to be honest.
this is the first one on ESPN. I believe they fulfilled their Peacock obligations and they've totally bailed. So I
Wow.
guess I will not be watching any of these PLEs anytime soon at any point on time at least, or like through traditional means. So whatever.
Yeah. Well, end of an era.
That's right. See you, Peacock. Looking forward to canceling that subscription very shortly.
Yeah. I don't blame you for that.
Well, we'll be back at some point to talk about Wrestling Palooza, and like you said, watch along. Maybe we'll just literally watch along with that match too. We'll just keep doing Cena. That's honestly not the worst gimmick. Let's just do Cena watch alongs until he retires.
Uh, yeah. I mean, there's only 2 more months of it, so
Yeah,
sure. Or
that's
three
right.
more.
We'll follow along with him every month. We'll do his most recent match. We'll watch it along. So
By the end of the year, we're gonna be so tired of watching Cena matches, both new and
old man
old.
Cena matches.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if that idea sticks, but it certainly seems like a thing we might do. So, if you want to hear us talk more about John Cena, Brock Lesnar, previous matches, watch alongs, all that stuff, you can find our archives at awesometruth.libsyn.com. You can also subscribe to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever podcasts are delivered for episodes old and new. Walt, great to watch along with you. We'll watch some Wrestling Palooza, or at least we'll watch some clips from it, and we'll see how Cena's what they're doing next with John and how he's going to wrap things up. I hope it's satisfying. I suspect it won't be, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Well, we can watch along that match if it's noteworthy. If it's not, then we have 20 billion years of Cena content to draw
That's
upon.
true. That's true. We can certainly pivot that way very easily as well. That sounds good. Thank you all so much for listening. And remember, the truth will set you free.